Oh, and good morning from Europe. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. So yeah, it's Thursday, September 25. We are here to have a short market update as we always do. Okay, after yesterday's short review on in market update, we had some more data. Let's first check the data we had so far from yesterday till now, and then we can go forward and check the data we will have today. The U.S. mortgage activities increased as because mostly because the rates fell. NBA 30 years mortgage rate fell to 6.34 from previous 6.39. So that helped the market generally, the mortgage market to have better activities. Also helped the housing market with while the building permits slightly eased. I mean the piece of new permits slightly were less than expectations, but on the other hand, the new home sales increased by 800,000 units, which is like about more than 2%. 2.5%, if I don't mistake, it's like 2.5% monthly growth. In Mexico, inflation slightly increased. In Russia, industrial production grow slowly in August, but still is growing. It's fine. EIA weekly reports for the week ended for September, week ended at September 20 shows that crude oil inventories fell by 610,000 barrels or 0.661 million barrels in the week, while the market was expecting about 800,000 barrels increase. This is while the last week also we saw more than 9 million barrels draw in the U.S. inventories, oil inventories. Yesterday also, well, when we had API reports, the API reports also showed more than 3,800,000 barrels in the U.S. inventories draw. I mean, more than almost 4 million barrels drawn. The gasoline inventories fell. Also, the Cushing inventories increased slightly, but generally the data shows that both gasoline and the oil inventories slowing down. That helped the oil price also to slightly increase, while the geopolitical tensions for sure also is another reason. U.S. 5-year Treasury action, we had an auction and we saw that the yields for 5 years auction slightly eased to 3.71 from previous 3.72. Don't forget that this falling yields slightly slowing down now as the market is changing its mind about what is going on in the next days. I mean, what's going to happen in the next days. In Brazil, net FX outflow slightly increased, records, I mean, it will get slightly better, showing that the Brazilian market and the cash in the Brazilian market is liquidity, and the cash in the Brazilian market is getting slightly more. I mean that these numbers can show that maybe the inflation also can be another reason to be slightly worried. In Argentina, economic activity slows. In Japan, today's so far data we had shows that the Japanese corporate service prices ease. That can help the Japanese inflation, which is actually, we can say that maybe we cannot say that can help because generally the inflation is falling in Japan, slowing down. It's not falling, slowing down in the Japanese market, but generally, yeah, these numbers also can support the slowing down inflation. SNB interest rate, Swiss National Bank interest rate decision will be in few minutes. We don't expect any changes. We don't expect any surprise there. French consumer confidence was didn't change at 87, and German GFL consumer climate or confidence or trust also slightly get better from minus 23.5 to minus 22.3, but still, the minus. We don't have such more important data so far in Eurozone later today, but in the US season, we're going to have the labor market data where we expect to see the initial jobless claims to stay around 230,000, like 2-3,000 more or less. That means that the 4 weeks average can stay around 240,000, still lower than average 250,000. But another data that we have to watch is durable goods orders, which is very, very, very important to watch as the markets. That index is one of the most important economic index, which is giving us the better idea of what's going on in the economy, and it's going somehow this like a view outlook of the economy, of the economic condition, economic growth, and that can support the general idea of how this economy is moving forward. So that's why we should be like slightly more curious about these data and watch it more carefully. We market generally expect slightly weaker than expected. I mean, weaker than previous months. Orders. Initial data which we had at the beginning of the month gave this idea that maybe these orders can slightly fall compared with the previous month, which we had a surprise of 1.1% increase. GDP numbers for the second quarter is also the last revision should be out today and shows that in the second quarter, US economy increased by 3.3% after a 0.5% fall in the first quarter. PC price index and core PC price index, real consumer spending, all of these data will be published for the second quarter. But still, while these data are very important, since tomorrow we're going to have the same numbers for August, the market is going to mostly focus for tomorrow's data. So that's why maybe the initial reaction on this data should be can be, I mean, slightly slider and ignored maybe somehow and wait till tomorrow's I guess data. These numbers we already had it. I mean the first and second initial I mean the primer data, and so these numbers cannot surprise the market as we already had these data, we heard this data. That's why the market is expecting any surprise, maybe if surprise happens for tomorrow's data, which is going to be for August. That's why the market going to ignore these numbers today and wait mostly for tomorrow. However, today we're going to have the interest rate decision in Mexico also, where we're expecting to see the Mexican Central Bank banking so to cut the rates by 25 basis point to 7.50% from previous 7.75%. With this data, as you can see, markets, the risk is still high, and with the overall geopolitical tension and the condition, VIX still around 18, while the dollar index trading higher, 97.48, hold at its higher like mostly for its safe haven demand. Somehow the gold also has the same condition. While the dollar index is still strong, the gold also could save its prices above $3,700. Even thought we had some correction like $50, almost $50 correction from also it's also high. The same condition we have in the silver market. The silver also trading about $44. Amazing numbers, amazing numbers trade. Yeah, just like expecting. Still, we're expecting a positive reaction in the commodities market. On the other hand, in energy market, oil and gas price is still increasing. This is geopolitical tensions getting closer to the winter, and all these numbers putting together to get the demand for the oil, where the geopolitical tensions, especially between the Russia and NATO members, maybe about what if they cut their buying from the NATO. On the other hand, the Islamic Republic of Iran tensions with the US increasing, maybe they starting new sanctions against Iranian economy from the next week. That can increase the tensions in the energy market. On the stock market, generally, these overall risk in the market and increasing the tensions in the market can support the current correction, and probably S&P 500, Dow Jones, and Nasdaq can continue its started downtrend from this week. Same in the cryptocurrency market, as we mentioned before, the Bitcoin price is slowing down, and market will be more focus, especially for tomorrow's expiration date. We know that tomorrow on Friday we're gonna have too much $1.5 billion, I think, of the the thing, what I forget the name, spot, not the spot, options, sorry. The options going to be expired tomorrow. Some the words is not coming sometime to the month. The options going to expire tomorrow. Too much options going to expire tomorrow for the in the cryptocurrency market, especially for the options for the Bitcoin. That can increase the risk in the market and put the pressure on the prices. So the Bitcoin price, especially before this before Friday or until this expiration, probably will be under pressure. But after that, we're going to see how the market goes. But for now, especially under if the price especially fall under 111,000, that can be mind changer in the market, and maybe it can put the more pressure in the cryptocurrency market. Yeah, that's what happened and what's going on in the market. If you had another question, don't forget to write in the comment section. We'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. Have a good time. Bye bye.